King of Country.
That's right, they're good stuff. So
really
Justin wrapped up the Behind the Music series. They're big time people. We missed it by a week. So he was a little late to video, but we have the wrap up of Behind the Music. The series is done last week, but we got to, for King and Country, Luke Smallbone this week about the new album coming out March 11th. It's great. Behind the Music was a great series.
It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So big time musical act for King and Country. Half of them talked to Justin. Here's a clip, and the full interview is actually on our YouTube channel, The Simple Church. Search it on YouTube. You can watch the full thing, but here's a little snippet with Luke Smallbone.
Let's see it.
This is the thing, is Christian music, sometimes it's not relatable. Sometimes it can come across where it seems distant, where I appreciate the honesty. And you've always been in y'all songs and your writing. And I saw Bono. This is interesting. I'll try to send you this link later. Bono from U2 said, and he was being interviewed by Fuller Theological Seminary.
Yep.
And he came out and he said, the key to great art is brutal honesty.
Yep,
and if you look in the Psalms, David was brutally honest about where he was in his life. And sometimes in the Christian side of things, it's not trying to be ugly or, minimize what somebody's doing. We're all trying to navigate that and figure that out. But where I think you guys have really hit the niche is that it's a brutal, honest approach to telling a story or asking, can you relate to the way I feel? We are more of the same. We are more alike. There's so many different songs we've gone through on that, but that's why I'm excited about the album coming out. And talk to me a little bit about the brutal honesty. I mean, I'm going through all your health crisis. That's one thing we connected with you. When you guys came in, you've gone through a lot of stuff, and I appreciate you sharing all of that,
Yeah, look, I mean, my life got complicated when I started music. That's when I got sick. We've walked through. I nearly lost my son at one point when he was young. There's been a lot of different things, and I got to a point where I one day, probably in my own spiritual immaturity, started kind of shaking my fist at God, and I said, God, why do these things keep happening to me?
Mm-hmm.
Two things I learned through that process was that God can handle your angry prayers.
Yes.
God can handle your disappointed prayers. God can handle however you want to pray. He's going to handle it, right?
Yeah, he can.
And so that was one thing I learned. And the other thing I felt God very, very clearly say to me was like, don't you see it, Luke? And I'm like, what? And he's like, when you tell these stories and you're honest, these stories reflect the goodness of my love for you, for other people, and my faithfulness. So you don't even need to be a good storyteller. Just tell the stories.
We love for King and Country. They were really cool. So we had them in, I think it was like 2014, Blake, before they got big. And
before my time.
I was always impressed was they stayed around, tore down everything, and helped load their vehicle, and then prayed for us as they left that day.
Now that's Behind the Music.
Hey, professional segue right there.
Nice.
We love for King and Country. They have a new album coming out March 11th. Check out that full interview on YouTube. Subscribe to the Simple Church YouTube channel so you get all the good stuff.
Yes.
Like.